I have something to prove. They doubt my competency and the burden is on me. It is so seductively inviting to see it as a microaggression. They doubt my competency here yet again, to feel oneself burdened. Now I have to prove to these motherfuckers to ball up into a defensive crouch or storm off, angrily, or reject, or to take oneself out of the mix. It's them and me, instead of saying, okay, however reasonable or unreasonable their doubts might be, I'm confident about my own capacities. And that's an important provision. Are you? Do you have something to prove to yourself? It's the proving not just to them, but also to me. When I say I don't have to prove it to them, am I taking the weight off of myself because I'm now rejecting the entire enterprise and I never have to face up to my own doubts?
Read like that final part where I quote Shelby Steele, because I think people should hear this.
Okay.
If you have it in front of you.
I do have it in front of me. Shelby Steele, whose classic, The Content of Our Character, A New Vision of Race in America, won a 1990 National Book Critics Circle Award, captured the essence of the matter in a 1989 essay to which you link here. The increased opportunity of the post-civil rights era presented, quote, a brutal proposition to Black America. Quote, if you're not inferior, prove it. And you conclude, Black pride means at the end of the day, proving it.
It's important. And a lot of people would tell us we shouldn't have to prove it. No, I can't have that. That's a bad fashion. You do have to prove it, even if the past and even the present are imperfect. You have to prove it, or you haven't made a case.
Here, I think, is the key sentence in your piece. Underestimation must be countered with demonstration, not indignation.
I must admit, I like that one. Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I mean, you start with the anecdote of talking about how when you were at Stanford, was it? And they were putting together a kind of Jeopardy-like, college competition. For answering trivia questions, and the white guys kind of left you off the team. They didn't pick you because they assumed, but you being Black, you didn't know it, and you were confronted with a dilemma, either to be pissed off and tuck your tail between your legs and go to the corner, injured by the fact that they overlooked you because they had the presupposition that a Black guy wasn't a nerd, or to show them just how insufferably nerdy you actually are.
I chose the second one. That's right. Yeah, that was, and they all literally huddled over on the other side of the room, left me out. It felt like being left out when they are picking people for sports, which I had, of course, endured as well. Here I am in this nerdy setting and I'm being treated the same way. And I thought, it's because I'm Black. All right, it couldn't be anything else. And I thought, I'll show them because I know some stupid stuff. And I showed that. And I don't think it changed the world, but that was my response. For me to run away saying I feel unwelcome, that would have been the lowliest form. And I thought, that somebody needs to show them that Black people can know stupid little things. And I'm one of the Black people who can. And, it's not that I turned them upside down, but I thought I was making a little contribution. And this is a quick codicil about that. One of the guys who ran to the other side of the room, just by chance, at the end of that school year, I met him. I had occasion to know him in a certain setting fairly well. He wasn't the devil. He was actually very open-minded. He was, a Democrat. He was a, good white person. Nevertheless, that bias clearly affected him that morning when they were very quickly trying to form teams, which shows that human beings are complicated. And it wasn't that he was thinking, oh, there's that N-word over on the other side of the room. He wasn't that type. But certainly he did fall under the influence of a certain kind of bias, to show that I understand that in that particular situation. He was a late 20th century enlightened white person who still wasn't anything like all the way there. But he wasn't a monster. Those guys weren't monsters, but they did read me wrong. And I decided I'm damn well going to show them. And I did. I wish all of us had that orientation. I feel unwelcome. Well, why don't you show them that they should have welcomed you more? And a kind of person says, well, I shouldn't have to. And yes, that's true. But you have to anyway, because there's no other way for them to know. You have to anyway. That's the thing.
That's a heavy thing to actually accept. I have something to prove. They doubt my competency and the burden is on me. I mean, it is so seductively inviting to see it as a microaggression. They doubt my competency here yet again, to feel oneself burdened. Now I have to prove to these motherfuckers that I can actually,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, ball up into a, defensive crouch or storm off, angrily, or reject, or to take oneself out of the mix. It's them and me. It's them and me. Instead of saying, okay, however reasonable or unreasonable their doubts might be, I'm confident about my own capacities. And that's an important provision. Are you? Do you have something to prove to yourself? It's
That's
proving not just to them, but also to me. When I say I don't have to prove it to them, am I taking the weight off of myself because I'm now rejecting the entire enterprise and I never have to face up to my own doubts about my own, that kind of thing.
That's the other thing. Yeah. It was interesting that morning, though. I'm looking back, reconstructing my feelings. I thought that wasn't nice, but I thought I want to do the College Bowl. I'd always wanted to try something like that. And I thought the only way I'm going to try it is if I just deal with this. And I thought, well, you know what? In a way, there's a novelty for me, because when I participate, when I answer a question correctly, everybody's going to be kind of surprised. I'm going to feel a little bit special. And that's exactly what happened. I just thought to myself, I want to do it. This world is imperfect. There wasn't going to be a warm, friendly, all-black College Bowl. This was my one chance, and you can get hit by a bus the next day. I thought, if I'm going to do College Bowl, they're going to ask me these stupid questions. It's going to be like on Jeopardy. I wish to do this. Okay, something imperfect happened. I can't fix it, but I'm going to go do my thing. Deal me in is how I felt. And I think that should be a norm. Some people are going to listen to this and think I'm saying, why can't you be like me? But no, I didn't feel like this. I felt like this. I felt normal. I think that other Black people are taught to be abnormal and thinking it's more important to decry the racism and run away crying than to just pitch in and show that you can do what they don't think you can.